Hey everyone, welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV Complete Crafter's Guide. This is Chapter 2. In this chapter we're going to go over the mechanics of crafting, dealing specifically with the abilities that you learned in your jobs on level 15, the abilities that you can cross-class now across all of the different crafting jobs. We're going to go over the rhythm of leveling as we go forward. That rhythm will change a little bit more. We're going to slow down a little bit and pay attention to each craft and take the most advantage of each checkmark that we can. And we're going to show you how to EXP with speed as you advance past 25 and into the mid-levels of crafting. Now the first thing I want to talk about here in Chapter 2 is an ability that you're going to be using pretty much forever from this point forward, and if you're not using it, you're not crafting correctly. Inner Quiet, what it does is, it adds a stack every time you successfully increase the quality of what you're making. Each stack that it adds to the buff increases your overall performance on the next time you try to HQ. So the higher your stacks go, the more your touch is due to quality, and you'll be able to really do some power moves that we're going to show you in later parts of the series. Now your first rotation is going to use the Waist Knot ability from the Leatherworking tree. Waist Knot is a really cool ability to get this early, because what it does is, every step that you take when you touch or synthesize your ball is only going to remove 5 durability while you have this buff up. The combo is pretty simple. What you want to do is you want to get your Inner Quiet up first, then you're going to put up your Steady Hand, and right after that you're going to put up Waist Knot. And what you're going to notice is that both your Steady Hand and your Waist Knot buffs are going to have 4 turns left each initially, instead of being able to only touch the material twice for the 20 durability loss. You'll be able to touch it twice as much, so 4 times to get double the impact on that quality and increase your EXP output for your checkmark crafting going forward. Now using the Waist Knot rotation is going to get you a lot better results as far as EXP, but as you gain even more levels above 15 into the 20th and 25th level, you're going to start to get more available cross-classing slots. That is, all of the level 15 abilities are cross-classable, and the second most valuable one to EXPing is Hasty Touch, and that comes from Culinarian. Now Hasty Touch is kind of a double-edged sword, and really a blessing. On the one hand, which is the best part about it, is it costs 0 CP to use it. So you get basically a basic touch move on your synthesis towards quality without spending any CP, which is great because now you've got that extra CP to spend on a second Waist Knot. That second thing that you get is that you get that CP pool to be able to save your CP to use on standard touch. So you're going to wait until you get that nice good quality with the red ball, or even better, an excellent quality with the rainbow ball. And if neither one of those come, once you're down to your last move, you've got 30 durability or 25 durability left, and it's your last chance to put something into quality, but you've got 7 or 8 Inner Quiet stacks sitting there. Those 7 or 8 Inner Quiet stacks are going to multiply that standard touch, that 32 CP touch to quality, and you're going to find it's going to give you a great result as an ender when you're here in the level 20 to 30 range. Using Hasty Touch and Waist Knot to save CP and stretch out your durability is going to give you more moves per synth to get even more EXP for each one of the check marks that you do. Now one of the first things you're going to want to do when you get to level 15 on all your jobs is start setting up your gear. Sharing gear among all of the jobs is vital, and the main reason why it's vital is because of spirit bonding and materia, which we're going to get to a little bit later here in the chapter. As you get through to the 18th and 19th level, the rest of the accessories become available. A little side note for people who tend to get lost looking for the crafted gear, sometimes using the market board is the best way to find something when you just can't seem to find that slot. Now up until now, that free company materials vendor has been a blessing. Being able to just sit there and synthesize anything you want in the first 3 pages or 4 pages of your crafting log has really sped things up. But since you're getting to the middle levels now, you're finding that he's wanting in a couple of items, and it's time to start setting up a materials bank. Depending on how far you've gotten in the game with some of the beast tribes, you have access to their vendors that have some pretty cool items available for sale at usually much cheaper than the market board. There's a neat app available that you can get for your smartphone. That app is called Libra Eorzea, and I'm going to put a link to it down in the description. I highly recommend you get that app. What you can do with the app is you can type in a material or even go into a mock crafting log right there in the app. It's first party developed by Square Enix. and a window will open up showing you if there are any NPCs in the world that sell it and how much they sell it for, and they'll tell you what position that NPC is at in the world, so you can go right to them and take advantage of that. But even then, with the app, there's still going to be some materials that you're going to find are just really hard to come by. The market board, depending on your server, might be flooded, and since we have an open trade economy and not a trickle-down economy, it really depends on really a lot of luck on whether or not someone went out and farmed a bunch of these and a bunch of them are up for sale, and you can go and snag some deals. The best thing to do at this point, once you get up close to level 30, is to start thinking about building what's called a materials bank. A materials bank basically is taking a lot of the raw materials in even some of their most raw form. I find that you can go back through all of the basic materials, starting with anything that material vendor doesn't sell. So for every one of the different crafting jobs, there's those basic materials, whether they're ingots or lumber, and just make a stock of what it is that you find yourself using, and even kind of look forward in your crafting guide a bit as you unlock new pages and start to plan what you're going to stock, because when it comes to crafting, the faster you are, the faster you'll be in EXPing. The last cross-class ability we're going to talk about here in Chapter 2 is Tricks of the Trade. Tricks of the Trade comes from Alchemist, and it's a really good ability because what it lets you do is it gives you the freedom of passing on a good or an excellent turn in your synthesis, and instead taking back 20 CP to add to your CP pool for the end. Tricks of the Trade is something that you can use in between stacks of steady hand when it's really not a good time to try to blindly take that red or that rainbow and try to add quality to it. You'd rather just take the 20 CP and get a free steady hand up, or use it to pool later to be able to put up a standard touch or be able to re-put up Waste Not. So you want to equip Tricks of the Trade along with Hasty Touch and Waste Not as soon as you have that third cross-class slot available on every job. And the last thing we're going to cover here in Chapter 2 is the crafting quests. Your Crafter Guildmaster is going to have a new quest for you every 5 levels through level 50. Each one of these crafting quests is going to give you EXP for completing them, so they're definitely worth doing when you're trying to speed through EXPing. And that'll do it for Chapter 2. A lot of you will probably, if you ask for advice in the game, most people will tell you just do Lev quests. I haven't gone over Lev quests yet because, honestly, they're very valuable at the point that you're about to reach. And if you had been wasting the limited allowances that you get in the speed that you'll be able to level all the way to level 20 or 25 just doing check marks, it would have been a waste. Next, in Chapter 3, we're going to go over Lev Quest because it's finally time to do it and really capitalize on some very, very good EXP. We're also going to go over the Grand Company daily turn-ins and the optional Ixali Beast Tribe crafting quests that can also get you some daily EXP. We're going to cover some basics when it comes to the materia and how you can capitalize on getting that shared gear converted into materia and using some of that materia to make gil, and also using some of that materia to make even more experience points. And we'll go over how in Chapter 3, so click over. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.